Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here, got another Master Duel video for you, and today we are coming at you with not just the viewer special, but this one is actually being streamed live. So the day before this video went live, which is going to be on Monday, so Sunday, I streamed us watching these replays, and I think this is something I'm going to keep doing in the future. So if you're interested at all in watching these replays live with us or catching some of the other live streams, make sure to either subscribe here on YouTube or join as a member. That way you get notifications of when the YouTube streams go live. But I also cast simulcast, whatever you want to call it, on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/hexlexlive. You can follow or sub over there to get notifications as well. But anyway, for the viewer special, if you want to submit a replay, then you're going to want to join the Discord server. I'll link in the description below. There you will find, under the Master Duel section, a channel called Viewer Special Submissions. You'll want to drop your 9-digit player ID there. That way I can view your publicly saved replays. Please do make sure that this ID is entered correctly and those replays are set to public. I am down to watch as many different particular games as you want to submit. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and start watching some of your games. Alright, so our first game comes to us from Fun Enjoyer, aka the one and only over on the Discord server, who's got a game playing Fiendsmith Momento versus Primite Bestial Fiendsmith. Pretty eager to check this one out because I'm definitely thinking that Memento is going to be one of the better decks to play this format that's not Malice. And I haven't tried the Fiendsmith variant yet myself. Okay, so this one was from the WCQ event here. Speaking of Fiendsmith decks that I think are pretty good in this format, Primite Bestial Fiendsmith Control, the deck that our opponent here is on, I think is also one of the better decks to play in this meta. Just because of the flexibility it has with the kinds of hand traps it can play and how many it can play too. Alright, so it looks like we're starting off with our Fiendsmith stuff here before we go into Memento plays. I think with a hand like this, that's fine. There are sometimes, of course, you have to be wary of locking yourself out of Tatsuno Toshigo, but that is actually the only lock that Memento has. So once Tatsuno Toshigo has resolved, then at that point, you don't really care about whether you have a non-Memento monster out or not. Okay, here it looks like our Fiendsmith engine was enough to bait out the Nibiru, so now we can go into Memento play. Is going to go into Cross Sheep. You know, I never summon this card when I actually play Memento, so I kind of want to take notes here. So we went normal summon Darkblade, then we used it with the Nib token. I see, and then that's how we made the Cross Sheep, because we also have the Fusion in hand. So this will allow us to, of course, not only summon the Creation King, but... Oh, wait! Because can Cross Sheep bring back Lacrima here? Yeah, and then now we can make Sequence and do Fiendsmith stuff anyway? Wait, that's cracked. That's actually wild. I am extremely glad we started with this game, because this is the exact kind of interaction that I was hoping to learn from here. See, this is like why I love this series so much. It's not just like, oh, you all... I mean, of course it is about you all getting to show off your games, but we all get to learn from each other too, and myself included, you know? Bring back the Akiran, we got the Onwich coming down, that gets to add the Sleepy here. Now we can Sleepy to fuse for the Twin Dragon, because we haven't summoned that yet. Alright, we got the Twin Dragon F that's going to pop itself to add the Combined Creation, as well as the Horned Dragon. We then got the Twin Dragon effect to summon back the Gaddock. Gonna link off the Lacrima with the Cross Sheep to indeed summon the Fiendsmith's Sequence here. Can activate Sequence, and looks like we're gonna put back 2 in order to summon the Fiendsmith's Lacrima. That's Lurie and Lacrima Crimson Tears that went back into the deck there. Fiendsmith's Lacrima is activating in order to bring back the Fiendsmith Engraver. And it looks like we are overlaying those for the DDD Wave High King Caesar. Furthermore, we're going to link off everything else into a 4-material Appaloosa. I wondered if we were going to make Appaloosa or go for the Sprite Elf here. Oh no, we got the format Appaloosa. And then now we can summon the Combined Creation as well. I wonder, let me, I bet we don't play IP just because the extra deck is so tight with the Fiendsmith stuff. Yeah, but if we did play IP here, that'd be wild. We could have gone for a 3-man Appaloosa plus the IP as well as the rest of this board. But again, with the Fiendsmith engine, I completely understand not having room for IP here. You don't even, I don't think you always play IP in Pure Memento. I think you usually do, though, if I remember right. But Fiendsmith Memento, again, I can see not playing it for sure. Okay, so we're going to use the Caesar on the Druiswarm here. Druiswarm was trying to eat what out of our graveyard? The Sequence, okay. They have the Lordly Load as well. Okay, we're going to go Combined Creation F. They're going to chain the Drill Beam on the Appaloosa, revealing the Ether Barrel in hand. That's interesting. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, we definitely don't need this Appaloosa in order to win this game here. At all. We still have multiple interactions, the form of Caesar and Creation King. We don't have a monster in hand, so we can't use the fusion in order to make, what do you call it, the, why am I blanking? It's Chimera, Guardian Chimera. Actually, is that in our extra deck, the Guardian Chimera? Oh, it's not. Oh, but we do have Dragos Stapelia, which we could make, because we have a fusion monster and a dark monster. So we do actually have the option to go for another negate here, which is interesting. Okay, so Drill Beam is going to reset itself, and this is, yep, a great time to do the Creation King F. Now it can pop their board as well as their Lordly Load. So they have a Drill Beam set that's no longer live. What was the other card that got set there? Do we know it? Oh, it was Roar. Okay, yeah. And then they added Fiendsmith in Paradise, so we actually know what all these cards are. And I think Roar's the only... Oh, no, okay, no, now Drill Beam's live because Dippity was summoned. Alright, Combined Creation gets to activate here. They're going to chain Drill Beam. We can chain the, yep, Fusion to dodge. Pretty easy. And looks like we're just making a Twin Dragon here. Makes sense. And there we go. That's going to be the dub. That was a great game. That was very, very well played. Yeah, I definitely... So, one thing that I've always kind of thought is like, oh, how often does the Fiendsmith engine actually end up conflicting with the Tatsuno Toshigo? Because even if it's only 1 point, it could still happen sometimes. I could see a world where you want to start with Fiendsmith stuff, but honestly, if you open enough Memento gas, you can just start with Fiendsmith stuff. And here, using it to bait out the Nibiru and still pivot back into it via Cross Sheep was so, so good. Very good stuff. Thank you very, very much. But of course, we still have a lot more games to check out. Let's go into the next one. Okay, next duel comes to us from Neo Eos. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Who's got a game playing Malice against Labyrinth. They say that they're still kind of new to Malice, but that this was still a good back and forth duel. So definitely eager to check this one out here. Looks like both lists are playing fairly standard stuff. So let's just dive right on into it. See what we got here. We're taking the first turn, right? Yeah. But to be fair, Lab definitely still has the ability to play during our turn. Wow, triple Dormouse in the opening hand. That's interesting to say the least. And there's good old Lancia. So, right in response to the normal summon Dormouse, we're going to link off our Dormouse to go for a Lingaribo, which is actually going to be a lot better than even, you know, just... Like, normally you would do this anyway just to be like, yeah, at least I'll have something going into their turn. Or you would do it against the Malice Mirror, right, to stop one of their trap cards. But here our Lingaribo should hopefully put in a fair bit of work. We're going to use Dominus Impulse against the Arias here in order to stop that. Yeah, they do have the ability to simply battle over the Lingaribo here, which is a little unfortunate for us. Okay, setting a card, there's Lady Lab, and then passing. So face down's got to be that big welcome they added, right? Drawing for turn, we have March Hare. This gives us quite a few more options that we can work with here. Alright, they're going to go Big Welcome, Chainlink 1, Lady Lab, Chainlink 2. Setting the Destructive Daruma Cannon. Ugh. Card is brutal. And then, of course, summoning the lovely Labyrinth herself. Lovely Lab F activating here, and then Ariana going to activate as Chain Link 2. Let's see if they choose to pop the onboard Chessy Cat or a card in hand. They're going for a card in hand. I think our opponent definitely should have tried to pop our Chessy Cat here. Alright, they've got another Lancia. That's brutal, but we can at the very least chain March here. That way we can banish the Dormouse from our graveyard to summon. And even though we're under Lancia again, this time we at least have multiple bodies to work with. So we can still go into Link Decoder and then link everything off in order to go into like our Red Ransom here. Red Ransom is going to activate, and then Link Decoder can revive itself. And probably just gonna add. I wonder if we're gonna add Malice in the Underground. No, we're adding Malice in the Mirror. Okay, I was gonna wonder if we're adding Malice in Underground for follow-up plays or Malice in the Mirror for disruption on their turn. I like going for disruption on their turn. I think that's a solid pick. Main phase 2, after we battle over the Ariana, we're gonna link into Splash Mage. Splash Mage reviving the March Hare, and then it gets to link into our White Binder. White Binder can't banish on summon, but we can still set a trap card from our deck. That's going to be the MTP, as well as Malice in the Mirror. But then we can pass right on over to them. I mean, I gotta say, Neolios, I think you're playing very well so far, given that you got smacked with Lancia during each of your turns so far. We're still able to set up quite a bit here. Chaining the MTP, our opponent's going to chain the Big Welcome here, trying to banish our White Binder, and then we get to go for the Malice in the Mirror in response. This will banish our White Binder, so that way the Big Welcome doesn't bounce the Binder, and then we can still go for the MTP to search, although we don't get to banish because we don't control Link Monster anymore, but I think banishing the White Binder with Malice in the Mirror was the right call there. Alright, so White Binder F, getting to banish a bunch of Malice monsters from our graveyard. We can summon all of them now. Red Ransom, Dormouse, and Chessy Cat get to go online now. And because Lancia can only be used during the opponent's turn, even if our opponent is holding the third copy, they can't do anything about it. Red Ransom gets the stat swap. Get to banish the White Rabbit. White Rabbit's going to summon. Red Ransom adding Malice in Underground. White Rabbit setting the GWC. Looks like they're going to battle over our Dormouse. That is completely fine. Same with the Chessy Cat. And is this Typhone? It's gotta be Typhone, right? What else would it be? The Super Star Slayer Typhone Sky Crisis. Going to detach to try to bounce our White Binder. And then pass back over to us. But we have so many more resources now than we did on our last turn. Normal summoning Dormouse, our opponent's going to go Big Welcome for Ariane. Ariane and Lady Lab, or Lovely Lab, rather, both get to activate their effects here. Lovely Lab going to pop the face down GWC. Ariane getting to draw. Dormouse banishing Chessy Cat, which gets to summon. They're going to go for the Karma Cannon. However, we can still flip up, I think, the White Rabbit? Or did we summon all of these this turn? I know Chessy Cat and Dormouse, I think, were summoned this turn. Maybe it was all of them. Either way, we get to go for our access code here. Access code F, banishing the Red Ransom. Or targeting the Red Ransom for the effect, right? Popping the face down card. We banished Link Decoder to do it. Oh, because we already banished... Did we already banish Red Ransom this turn? Or was that last turn with White Binder? I'm trying to remember. Okay, we did already banish it this turn. Gotcha, that makes sense. Okay, they're going to go Arya setting the Welcome Lab during our main phase 2. Welcome Lab activating. We're going to hit them with that Ash Blossom. Grinding them out of resources here. They get to summon the Arias, but we're down to just Arias plus 2 cards in hand once they draw for turn. Now we get to make Little Knight. And banish their Welcome Lab. That makes sense. This is... Oh, another Typhone. Yeah, we did see multiple Typhones in their extra deck, didn't we? So our opponent being on multiple Typhone is really the main reason I feel like this game is even going on as long as it is, because without that, I mean, they just wouldn't have the ability to do much of anything at all. But they did manage to out our access code, so Also, our life points are getting to a spot where, like, we can't actually keep summoning banished Malice monsters, like, quite indefinitely. We are kind of coming to a head here. Alright, so Whitebinder's going to banish their big welcome as well as our Dormouse and Chessy Cat. And now we're down to 300. Now we can't summon any more banished Malice monsters. So this is going to kind of have to be it. Although we do have a lot of other resources we have access to, like this GWC. And GWC, of course, can even revive a Link monster to gain some life points. But a Dominus Impulse from our opponent is going to stop that. Which is actually pretty rough for us, because we really wanted that to resolve to gain life points here. We can still use Chessy Cat to banish this Malice and Underground to draw a couple of cards, but we're going to have to crash our Whitebinder into Typhoon just to get rid of it. And then now Chessy Cat's attacking directly. Okay, so they're drawing for turn here. We still have Ash Blossom and Imperm, so I like where we're at in terms of disruption. But they've got the Backjack for Link Karibo. Backjack gets to activate, rearranging the top 3, and then next turn they get to set one of those, and then it can activate that same turn. Jewelswarm is going to eat the Lady Lab. Baldrake's going to eat the Lovely Lab. Now we're going to link off Chessy Cat plus Jewelswarm in order to make Dark. Oh, okay, cool. So now we can go Jewelswarm F on Link Karibo, Dark F, revive the Typhoon. It looks like this is how we're finding lethal here. And even when they try to go for the Backjack F, we still get to just fire off Ash Blossom and stop that. So it looks like that's going to pretty much do it from our opponent here. Good stuff. Thank you, Neo Eos, for that replay there. Very, very good stuff. I thought you played that very well, especially given that you were smacked with the double Lancia this game and still managed to come through. Very, very well played. And our final game comes to us from Narin, who's playing a fairy deck with Wing Karibo and Nova Summoner. Huh! And look at this extra deck. All hero monsters. Look at that. We're playing like a dedicated Wing Karibo level 10 deck. That's kind of awesome. Wing Karibo, and we're up against Branded. Wow, branded with a lot of interesting text. It's Dragon Maid branded with like Cursed Bride Doll, Light End Sublimation, Red Eyes Soul, Swords of Revealing Light. Wild. Alright. Let's finish off with this one here. Going second yet again. We get the Fulos, though. I'm going to fire that off right off the bat. Let's see how much they end up playing into it. This is a Branded fusion. With the Red Eye Soul, okay. Or Lubellian. Fulos for Fulos is brutal. Oh, no, wait, no it's not, because we just fired it off again. That's Maxi for Maxi I was thinking of. It's been a minute since I've double Fulos somebody, actually. I actually kind of forgot for a second you could do that. They're still going for it, making a Mirror Jade, despite that giving us 2 more draws here. There's the Transcendent Wings. That's definitely the most important thing to search, because that one, or the draw, rather, because it's not searchable. Alright. Cards of the Sky, not bad here. Draws a couple more. Oh, we got the Droplet. That was such a good top deck there. Oh, but we could have found it with the Condemned Witch anyway, huh? I'm a little surprised, I guess because of the Mirror Jade. Well, we had the Droplet, though. Because we have the Nova Summoner in hand. Could we not have, like, normal summon Nova Summoner crash into their monster to summon Wing Karibo to go for the Transcendent Wings play? Because I'm assuming that's, like, what our strategy here is, right? Like, using the Condemned Witch to set up not just a Droplet, but also the Nova Summoner, like it did there, and then this summons Wing Karibo, and then, yeah, we do Transcendent Wings. That's awesome. Gotta say, I don't think I've ever seen anybody resolve Wing Karibo level 10 myself, and for exact lethal there, too. That was pretty awesome. That was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty good, Narin. Thank you very much for that one there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Thank you so very much for watching all the way to the very end of the video, which by the way is one of the best ways to support the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, take a look at the names on screen. These are folks who have been so generous as to either join as a YouTube member or subscribe over on patreon.com/Hexlex to support. There's also perks for doing so. If you would like to see YouTube videos early, as well as some exclusive videos that get uploaded to YouTube, but for one reason or another I decide not to publish, definitely go ahead and hit that join button to see content early, as well as some exclusive content. If you're looking for more exclusive content, over on patreon.com, I upload exclusive videos that are not posted on YouTube just about every single day. Whether you choose to subscribe over on Patreon, join as a YouTube member, or simply continue to watch, your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so very much. But for now, this is Hexlex. I am signing out, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.